Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another live edition of Dom Sicali, Mafia Roundtable. Joe Barone is MIA. We took Joe out. Joe's done. Nah, Joe's not done. I'm just joking. But I wasn't going to do a show today. I'm a little under the weather, but we put on the good Adidas hat, so we're ready to rock and roll. And it's while I'm waiting for my chicken soup to come. So I figured, you know what? Let's go live at 5. So, yeah. Again, folks, even with the workouts, when my body tells me no or it's not feeling it, this morning I'm up getting ready for the gym, and then my nose is running a little bit. I have some aches. I'm like, you know what? Can't do it. Can't do it. So you have to listen to your body when you're working out, the way you feel, especially when you become 88 years old like me and become an old man. But so today we took a day off, lazy day, just basically worked from home, did everything I had to do, and that was it. So I figured we'll come live at 5. And then what was bothering me is prison reform, talking about it's basically the prison system, the federal system became a mafia breeding ground for recruiting. Definitely, because when you're in prison, folks, you're with people 24/7, 365. You get to see their true characteristics, how they act, how they conduct themselves, how they handle things. Some people, like you've heard, Michael Hippie was reverted to heroin, doing heroin. You have people smoking weed. I know a bunch of wise guys and guys who are around wise guys, Italians, smoking weed, hanging out. Myself, I think I might have smoked maybe once or twice when I was in Lewisburg, and that was it. But other than that, always lifting, always working out, staying in shape. I really didn't get caught up in that. But you get people like, again, Hippie missing his wife, so they revert to heroin. And I know even in Lewisburg, when I was there, 80 to 85% of that population, they were strung out. And it's usually the first of the month. That's when everybody gets paid from industry. Yeah, a lot of people working in industry, and that's when the heroin would come in. The middle to the end of the month, really, they would go wild, getting high, doing drugs. But and it's funny because when I first came into the prison system and the federal system, they had rehabilitation programs to help people acclimate back into society, be productive, learn. They had college courses, they had GED programs, which they still do, but they stopped a lot of that. Now, and I was thinking the other day, I picked up, sometimes I like sweet cereal, so I'll get cinnamon toast pops. So I'm eating the cinnamon pops, and it dawned on me when I was in Lewisburg, you couldn't believe Lewisburg and all the other institutions. You would get up in the morning, breakfast. Okay, say if they're serving eggs, they have eggs on the grill. Any way you want them, you tell them you get 2 eggs. So you could tell them scrambled, sunny side up, and they do it right on the grill for you as you're waiting in line. Then with that, they would give you have oatmeal, toast, whatever else. Sometimes the gravy you could put on it, just a whole bunch of different things. Then they would have the salad bar in Lewisburg. They would have 4 or 5 cereals out there, so you could choose from. If you want dry cereal, you could pick the dry cereal. They put out good spreads. Then lunchtime, what would happen is you have your lunch. So if it's hamburger day, you go through the line, or chicken day. Chicken, they would give you a choice. Breast, they would have, back in the day, they would be serving breast. So they're fried chicken, breast, legs. Usually that would be at nighttime, but say for lunch, hamburgers. They're giving you hamburgers. You could have, they would have the cheese, tomato, onion, French fries, or potato tots. As you're going through a line, that's what you pick up. And then they'll give you a dessert you could pick up. You have. Then they would have a salad bar. So you have your lettuce, then they would have chopped onions to put on, croutons, radishes, pickles for your things. They have mustard, ketchup, and then like 3 or 4 salad dressings, celery. I mean, really, bean salad they would have. They would put a spread out, and you could choose. And then at night, same thing. They would have the salad bar. There was always a salad bar for lunch and dinner. So you had nice spreads, always a dessert every meal. Even at breakfast time, you have they would give you a cake or whatever. But then they started cutting back. This was in the early 90s. I would say they started in the mid 90s, probably 93, about 94. They started cutting back, where now no more choices of cereal like that. They stopped with the salad bar, with no more salads. Like, they really, really rationed. When they used to have the chicken breast, they only went to legs and thighs, the dark meat. And really, it was just unbelievable how they cut everything back. They cut out the schooling programs, the vocational tech programs. They would have agriculture, horticulture, plumbing programs, mechanical programs, all different trades, welding. Each institution specialized in different things. They cut all that out. It was called the Zimmerman Bill. They said we were living too good in prison, and people were getting too big lifting weights. You know what? And I found when you lift weights in prison, and I'd be on the weight pile most of the times twice a day, it gets all your frustrations out where you're tired at the end of the day. So, and that, if people are tired, they're not as frustrated, not as aggravated, less fights, less drama, less altercations in there. But it became just a breathing ground. I call it cattle. They looked at us as cattle, the numbers, where they cut back on everything. They stopped teaching. They stopped the rehabilitation. And I think that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. You're giving guys, and they were kicking out 10, 15, 20 years like it was candy, giving it like it was nothing. You lock a guy up for 20 years, and they're coming home. All they knew were the streets. Well, if they're 25 years old, they're coming out. They're close to 42. Like, are you kidding me? With no vocational tech training, nothing, no rehabilitation. There's no prison reform. It's just they heard you. And that's where it became disgusting, where it was just it's sad. It's sad. Like, they want the they want that to come back. They want the recidivism rate, so people come back. It's a circle. That's how they make money. I mean, when I first went into the BOP, I think we had 94,000 inmates throughout the Bureau of Prisons. Nowadays, it has to be over 200,000 people in the federal system, which they're 2-man cells. And then now I heard 3-4-man are in a room. It became disgusting. Maybe that's why they're releasing people now with compassionate release, letting them out sooner. Not that they don't have to do all their time. But it was definitely a breathing ground. And, I found when I was in the penitentiary, the officers, they don't mess with you. They'll do their shakedowns. They'll make sure everything's secure. But if they know you're taking something out of the kitchen, sometimes they overlook that. Leave the guys alone. Don't be petty with them. Now, when you go to FCI, some FCIs, they're very petty. Like, they'll get on you if they see you taking some food out of the dining hall. They'll get on you with it, and you could get jammed up. When you go to a low institution, it's even more stricter. They have their rules are more stringent, and they mess with you for little things, stupid things, petty things. They're on you because they feel, this is a low institution, they get away with it. Where in the penitentiary, they'll overlook 80% of pettiness. They won't bother you. Like, If they go by and they see your bed's not made up, or it's just not made up properly, they just walk by. They're not going to mess with you over that because they know you're dealing with a lot of lifers. And really, you're going to mess with me over a bed? You better get out of my damn room. I'm doing life in prison. And that's the mentality. But in an FCI, a low institution, you get that pettiness with officers. And then you have some officers who they just got the shit slapped out of them when they were kids. They got all their lunch money taken. And they act like, now it's their time to get back. And then you have some officers, they just want to come in, put their 8 hours. I had officers tell me, Sakali, I'm here to do my 8 hours and book. I don't want, if there's drinking going on, keep it away from me. I don't want to smell it. Keep everything away. Stay calm. Listen to me. I'm not going to break your chops. Don't break mine. And some officers are like that. They just want to come in, put their 8 hours. As long as nobody's getting stabbed, drugs aren't flowing around in my unit, do it after. I don't care what you do after I leave. But, just make my 8 hours easy. I'll make your 8 hours easy. And that was their mentality. Those officers you have to respect. You definitely have to respect. But not all officers are like that. They come in there some of them come in with a vengeance. I'm going to bust them for that. These guys are just scumbag lowlifes. And some of those officers you have to deal with. Then even in some institutions, they have a 5-minute move, 10-minute move. They used to have top of the hour, bottom of the hour. But you could go to somebody's unit. If I knew, say, Lackett was an officer. Lackett's working 1B and I'm in 3A. 6 o'clock, the guys are in 3A. It's winter time. Everybody's hanging out in 3A or 1B. I go over there. Hey, Lackett, I'm going to hang out over here. As long as he's aware that he knows, because if there's a lockdown, he has to get you out. If they do a recall, he has to get you out quick. And then he'd tell you, listen, something happens, it's on you. I'm not going to bother you, but I'm going to cover my ass. Okay, cool. And then you get some officers, if they catch you in the unit, they sneak you in, you have to hide. It's just a bait and switch type of thing. But, it's definitely a breathing ground. There's no longer prison reform. I know when I left, it was just disgusting. You could do online classes, but it wasn't like when the teachers would come in. When I was in Farrington, we had Cumberland Community College teachers actually coming and teaching classes. You could sign up for college classes where they made it feel like more of a college atmosphere, which was good. And, then they changed it. Actually, when I first went into the federal system, they had phone calls where you pick up the phone dial, you could stay on for an hour if you want. But what they would do is the inmates would break out phone lists because you have so many inmates in the unit. So you have this slot, 15 minutes, half hour, 20 minutes, whichever way it worked out. So sometimes I could tell 2 of my friends, do me a favor, lock up the slot. So I'll get from 6 to 6:45 would be my slot. And you're rocking the phone for that time. And if somebody would come down, could you spare 5 minutes? Sure, no problem. Hey, listen, I have to give my boy 5 minutes. You give him 5 minutes. But they had no limit on the phone calls. If I wanted to stay on 4 hours, I could stay on 4 hours. And at that time, everything was collect. So you get a collect call from Dominic, and boom, soon they accept, all the charges got reversed. Then what happened, the feds put they always had the monitors on the phone, but they put the time limit monitor where every single phone call cuts off after 15 minutes. Then they got smart because I remember when I was in Lewisburg, they had the cutoff, but you could call right back if you had the slot, you call right back. Boom, went through. Then they have, after 15 minutes, you have to wait an hour to call back again. So, they limit. And then they put, and that could be unlimited. You could have called for, say, 1,500 minutes a month, 2,000 minutes a month. It didn't matter as long as you could pay for it. You could speak. Then what they did, you punch in your number, your account number, your phone number, and they only gave you 300 minutes a month. Use the 300 minutes, you're out. Christmas time, they bump it up to like 450, 500, depends what institution. They gave you extra time. Nowadays, they have the computer. I know emailing, there's a few people I email. I'll get their email. We email back and forth. So I don't know what the time limits with them or how many minutes they get with that, how it works. It might be unlimited. But back in the day, the phone communication, they tightened everything up. And, they made things difficult. Yes, Francisco. Also, they have the MP3 players. They have, I might have one somewhere, the old one. Little MP3 player. You had to go to the library where they had the computers. In the computers, they had all legal research you could do. Everything was in-house. They had no access to the internet itself. So they had it in their programs to do legal research. But now you could go on to the music. And they had the approved songs. So they might have 5,000, 10,000 different songs. Now, the explicit songs with all the profanity, they wouldn't allow in there. But you buy each song. So you have credits for the songs. You buy the songs, it downloads on your MP3 player, and that's what you would have for music. That's when I left. They had that. But when I was actually in Lewisburg, we had radios, real radios with the one speaker. Go to the weight pile, you're playing the music, and you're working out. You get 2 or 3 people playing the same station. It was just, you're in a gym, you're working out, you have the music playing. And you could play it loud. So, as loud as you wanted on the weight pile. So, they had a lot of things. They would have a program called the JCs, where they're part of the organization for the institution. All the money that's drummed up that they make off of profit. So they might be selling these pens. You can't get them in the commissary. These are good pens. They would sell pens, baseball caps, sometimes pajamas, different types of sweat socks. They bring it in. All those proceeds, that would pay for, at the time we had HBO, Showtime. If there was a pay-per-view event, the JCs would pay for it instead of the institution. If they were doing a weightlifting competition, so the institution paid for people coming in for the ice creams, things they would give out, the popcorn, the JCs would pay for it out of that fund. So it didn't cost the institution money. And that was a good program. They stopped that too, where, it was just amazing what they did, how they did it. And it was all caused the Zimmerman bill. I think he was a congressman out of North Carolina or South Carolina. And he put an end to that with his bullshit bill. And then from there, everything just went downhill, from the food to the education. It just got disgusting, totally disgusting. But things changed. But back in the day, the federal system was sweet. It was really good. And then you have the commissary you could go to. At the time when I went in, I think it was like $125 a month you could spend in commissary. Now it's up to, I think, $300 a month. $125 once a month. You could go every single week. Once a week, they give you your shopping day, but your limit was $125. At that time, they had coins. You could buy nickels, dimes, and quarters. You're only allowed to have, I think, $20 on your possession at all times. That was the max. So you could go each week, get $15 in coins. Of course, people had hundreds of dollars. We had false shelves, false back in the lockers where we'd stack up all the coins, put it up, have hundreds of dollars in coins. Those were people who were doing loan sharking on the compound, gambling, their sports book. That's how they would pay people. But they stopped that too. And then stamps became a commodity, became money. Then cigarettes. It was cigarettes, stamps. They switched that all up. They stopped the smoking, stopped the tobacco. They tightened everything up. But things definitely changed. And then you saw the caliber of inmates turning around. From the early 90s to the late 90s, they were bringing in all garbage, crackheads, junkies. Like, it was bad. It was bad. Like, they were just locking everybody up because of this. Each inmate at the time, I think they were getting $45,000, $48,000 a year to house each inmate. A year. It doesn't cost them that. Doesn't cost them that. Do the numbers. Some units, what the units will hold them. Maybe each unit you figure you have 20, 40, 80, close to 100 people, 110 people in a unit. Do the math. And you have two sides of a unit. So right there, say 250 people you have, or even 200 people times 10 units. You have 2,000 people on a compound. Usually it was like 1,100, 1,500. So 1,500 times 40, you're talking some big numbers just for that, just for the housing part. That wasn't with the educational, whatever other subsidies they would get. So you're talking 1,500 times just at 40,000. That's $60 million a year just to house you. House you. The clothes were BS they would give you. People and they would issue you laundry detergent or do your laundry. Soap, toothpaste, which were garbage. I mean, industry made it. So it was just, it's a big money maker for the government, without a doubt, without a doubt. But there's no more prison reform. It's just a breathing ground. You're like cattle. It's cattle call. That's what it became. So if anybody has any questions to ask about it, shoot the questions now. We're just going to keep today light, short, sweet. But you definitely see people's true colors when they're in. So Ron Pearman, thank you for the contribution. Hey, Dom, Mike Hippie doing drugs. He's a junkie, which makes him a liability. Why doesn't the family get rid of him or put him on the shelf at the very least? You know why, Ron? Because they don't give a shit anymore. They don't give a shit. Ernie Muscarello, who is the boss of the crime family, and I have people tell me, Dom, he's not the boss. Trust me when I tell you, I met him as the boss. Chin gave the reins over. That's it. Gave it, passed it on to him while he was alive. Ernie was the boss of the family, hands down, and that's it. I wouldn't have met him as the official boss, and he even told me personally when we were together. So, and that was it. So even Vinnie didn't know. I'm the one who brought it to Vinnie's attention. So that's just the way it is. But they're so far out of touch. They just don't give a shit no more. It's been about this. It's been about this. Ernie was never a big earner. Never a big earner. And I know that for a fact because I was with him. He got lucky with the Acura of Westchester dealership. That was it. He didn't know how to make money. He wasn't about that. He just had the right people around him. And his brother Ray was somebody to make money, a hustler out there. But Ernie just stepped into that pot of gold, that bucket of shit. And that was it. Made money with the used cars. And that was it. Off to the races. Blind squirrel could find an acorn every once in a while, folks. What's that? Maria Maritime. Hey, Dom, good afternoon. Maria Maritime from, what's that? Garrison Beach. Looking good, D. Have a great day. Happy spring. Well, happy spring to you. It's chilly down here, and I'm just under the weather a little bit, but we're still rocking and rolling. We're still here. So thank you for that. Who else we have? Let's scroll down. Step, folks, don't forget to hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks, Step. For those of you new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That's all we asked here. It just helps with the algorithms and everything else. Mr. Puppet says, Iron Hippie probably used in jail, and if he's using now, he's doing it off time or sober, because I don't think anyone would be functioning H addict. A functioning H addict. Listen, we partied, whether it be on weekends or going out. You go missing in action for a few days. It's part of the life, Puppet. It's part of the life. So Hippie was using it in jail. He's still using in the streets. I know that for a fact. People, the strong connections told me. I even know what he picks up at times. He doesn't ask for 8 balls no more. He looks for half ounces and ounces of coke. And with the coke, they say he's speedballing. He's doing heroin to bring himself down. It levels you out. So, but that's his business. So, Who else do we have? Let's see. Tina, what's up, Tina? Good to see you. Tina, you ready for tomorrow? Oh, and Tina, we could talk more about Gina Ferry because it was bothering me with Gina. And I remember Gina used to date my cousin Matt. And Gina was an accountant. Am I correct, Tina? So I'll go into Gina Ferry stories too. I like Gina. Tina says it's bad enough. It's a culture shock after 20-year bid. They need to prepare them for what they are coming back into. Yeah, but they don't. They don't unless they're turning it around now. John Jones, Dom, you following the Rizzuto Mafia war happening in Canada with the Hells Angels? It's crazy. Thoughts? No, I'm not following it. Excuse me. But yes, no, they were always battling with the Hells Angels back and forth. They're gangsters. They're gangsters. But the Rizzuto clan was originally the Bonanos. So they were the Zips who came over, stayed in Canada, and that was their drug connection, bringing it down. But they got smart after Joe cooperated and Vinnie got locked up. Giant Privalone says, Tony, don't you pay attention? Okay, that wasn't for me. Clay says, doing pretty good, Francisco. How about you? Let's scroll down quicker. Let's see what we have. Patience of consequence. Reforms, what they sell. Punishments, what's delivered. Inside, it was simple relationships mattered. You scratch their back, they scratch yours. You know how it goes. Yes, but when you say scratch their back, listen, there's people dry snitching in there, without a doubt. I've seen it. I've been through it and know about it. But yeah, if you keep your nose clean, you do your own things, officers really don't bother you, except you have a few scumbags that will. Just because. But overall, you stick with your own, you do your own thing. Time goes by quick. You know what, folks? As sick as it sounds, as crazy as this sounds, the days weren't long enough for me. My days would go by like this. My routine, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. Okay? And it was easier when you have a single cell. When you have a cellmate, you try to be quiet. I would set everything up the night before in the cell. So my oatmeal, a little bit of oatmeal, where all I had to do is add water. Sometimes I'd add the water and I eat it cold. But I'd set everything up the night before. I have my toothbrush, everything ready. Just brush your teeth real quick. But when you're by yourself, my days start at usually 5:30. They pop the doors. 6 o'clock, they open up the dining hall. I'd be waiting. I'd have everything done, read my Bible, ready. Boom, they pop the door. I'm out at the weight pile. I'm out from 5:30 to about 6:45. They would have a 7 o'clock work call, okay? Or 7:15, whatever time it was. I would be in before that work call, and what I would do, I come in, get in that shower real quick. Shower, go back to my cell. Now, 8 o'clock when the new cop comes on, they do a count. Everybody gets locked in, or just go to your cells, and they'll do a count. So I had my job maybe 10, 15 minutes, whether it would be at nighttime, in the morning. Finish that up, I'm done. I didn't have to be accounted. On the 9 o'clock move, they would have a rec yard move. I'd go get my rec pass, and I'd go out. So from hang out, maybe work out again, do some pull-ups, shoot some hoop, or just hang around, shoot the shit. But from 9 to lunch, I'd be out, come back in. They call the units for lunch. Now, it depends what was there. Sometimes I go, sometimes I wouldn't. But I would go out to the weight pile for 12:30. 12:30, 1 o'clock, I'm back on the weight pile for 2 hours. I'd have a 2-hour workout in the afternoon, go back, shower, get ready for 4 o'clock count, go eat, play cards, read. There wasn't enough hours in the day. So that's just routine, and it's repetitive. It's repetitive. Then the days I would take off, I would just lounge around. Maybe I would play ball. We'd get a basketball game together, play cards, hang out. Depends if it's raining, cold. You just feel like taking off, lounging out, reading. It's just go over stocks. It's just there wasn't enough hours in the day. That's what it came down to. So, what were you listening to? The music when we had the MP3 players, everything from Barry White to 50 Cent to Eminem to some country, everything, a variety of everything. It just depends. It depends. Let's see what else we have. Alexandra says, hit harder on fight nights, Thursday. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we got some more here. Let's see. Oh, thank you for the contribution. Hey, Dom, back then it was muscle. Now it's movement. You don't run the streets anymore. You run the flow. Stay quiet, stay earning, or don't last. Very well said. Very well said. You're right. You're right. You can't. What's up, German? Thank you for the contribution. Sending you and the family much love and respect. Keep up the great work as always, the German. Thank you, German. I appreciate it. Michael 2010103. I went to juvenile hall in Arizona in 1987. My mother wanted to bring me to burritos. Oh, bring burritos to me for lunch. The staff said, you buy burritos for everyone, you can do it. So she brought over 40 burritos. Oh, man. That was crazy. You know what, folks? When I did my state bid, when I went into, it was after the county jail. I was in all the newspapers for murder, first degree murder. I weighed about $148, $150. And when I went in, they brought me to South Florida Reception Center. I think I was 22 years old at the time. So it was my first offense. So I had no criminal record. They put me in with all the juveniles. They call it the jitterbugs, where they're wild off the chart, especially in Florida. At that time, it was 90% black in there, very racist. So I come walking through. I'm all over the newspapers, first degree murder. So I walked in and I'm like a rock star to these young kids. They're like, damn, Italian over there, he's in for murder. Oh my God. So really, I was only there about 2 days, and then they put me in with the guys, in Gen Pop. Took me out of the jitterbug scenario. But it's amazing. It's amazing the system, how it works. And what caught my eye one time in the state, watching a softball game, there's an argument. The guy out of nowhere picks up a baseball bat and just started beating the living hell out of somebody, cracked him in the head. He went down and just pulverized him. I'm like, okay, it's time to rock and roll here. So you just learn to watch your P's and Q's, and you conduct yourself like a man. Somebody steps to you, you have to handle it quick, without a doubt. That's just the way it is. Jet, Dom, do you know Lou Navarro? No, I don't know Lou Navarro. Probably I knew Cheech Navarro, the kids. I don't think I know Lou. And I didn't know them that well. So somebody told me his Bob. Yeah, no, I don't know them. Let's see what we have. Alamo, hey, Dom. The monkey eventually gets too heavy. Don't think you've seen my message earlier, but I want to thank you so much for putting on such a great show every day. Aces. Well, thank you, Alamo. And people, you have to understand, when I'm telling my stories and I'm going over it, usually it's 20 to 30 minutes. I'll do the whole story. We'll go into it. I really don't look at the messages. I don't look at them. Then when I finally turn over, some of them go up top, so I don't scroll back down. And then there's so many of them. So unless now, when I'm answering questions, I could catch it. So what's up, Park? Oh, Johnny Privalone says, hello, Parker Street Girl. Mr. Puppet says, Joey Molino on PBD. Couldn't get a word out of him. It was awkward. I have to check it out. So we'll see. Peter Miller, what's up, Pete? Good to see you. Hey, Dom, glad I caught you live. Always prefer to watch it live. Thanks, Peter. It's been a while. Hope everything's well, you and the family. We have Gary, Dom. You ever hear a hang with Jimmy Poop? No, never heard of him. Tina says, LOL, Johnny P. I guess we have to see tomorrow. Tina, you're in trouble. Sunflower, thank you for the contribution. I'm glad you love the channel. I happen to like it just a little bit. Thank you. Glad you like the show. Glad you're liking it. Francisco, yes, Clayton, you gotta be on later. 52 topics. Also, Frank Fedolino, birthday show. Well, Frank, if you're watching, happy birthday, brother. Wish you the very best, without a doubt. Joey C14. Hello, Dominic. How you doing today, sir? I'm doing great, and thank you for doing a great show. I enjoy it every day. Well, thank you, Joey. I'm glad you do. Just hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, folks, for those of you who are new on the channel. Emmanuel says, Sonny, good to see you. Sonny, our thoughts and prayers go out to you. Hopefully you're doing well fighting your battle with cancer, and much love and respect to you. Thank you. Cole, Dom, did you go to RMC Lake? RMC Lake? Butler? I went to Rayford. Oh, Rayford, Cole, Rayford back in the day was a joint, I heard. No, I was in South Florida Reception Center. And then from there, Hillsborough, Riverview, Florida, Hillsborough County. It was a medium low. And that's where I went. It was a sweet joint. It actually, folks, that was a state prison in Florida, Tampa, Riverview. And it looked like a college campus the way it was set up. You had each dorm had two sides to the dorm. You had A and B side. Our side, you had 1, 2, let me see. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 rooms, 2 people to a room. So 40 people on each side. And it was just you and the cellie, bunks on each side. You had your lockers that either were under the bed or on the side of the wall. And you had a key to your door. So you could lock your door when you left. It was sweet. It was good. And in the state, they had cash. You could have up to $25 on you a week. I think you could draw 20. Something like, or have 30 and draw 20. And then they would have a canteen that opened up, and you could buy sodas, ice cream, just go there, pay the cash, and it would stay open for hours. So they have certain hours you go there. They had hot sandwiches you could get. It was good. They actually had a good weight pile there. They had a tennis court. I would play tennis. That's how I learned to play tennis in state prison. They had the softball field, the track. But I was into weights. That's where I started putting size on. Working, I went from like 148. I left, I was about 195. Young. So, what else we have? Rita, Dom, is there any chance Vinnie will get out on his appeal? Love your show. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so, but he should get out soon. They're letting everybody out, so he should get out. I think I am going to write him soon. Definitely going to send him a letter. So, but I hope he does. I really do. I hope he does. Sonny Grasso says, thank you, Dom. Feeling better. I'm glad. Thank you. Steve says, they pulled the rug on the gold today. Who can I blame? I lost money, LMAO. Would gold go down to, Steve? I know silver at one point was down like $8. It came back. Only was down, I think, $3 at the end of the day. I could check right now. Yeah, no, the market's been getting pulverized. Yeah, it closed $3 down. After market, it's up 20 cents. So, but gold will go back up. Gold will definitely go back. Steve, I saw silver too. Yep, Anthony, it did. It was down, I think, $8 at one point. Dom, do you like anyone in the NCAA tournaments? Michael, I don't bet. I don't gamble. But folks, we are coming out. It should be out soon. Here's what we're doing. We have a new app coming out. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is, but what the developer did, because the app takes time to come on Apple and Android, we're still trying to work with my developer on Rise to Power for Android. We still have issues. He's not answering me anymore. Who knows why? But maybe because he was part of the scam with everything. That's what I'm starting to believe. And I will be blowing everybody up with that. But aside from that, what this other developer did, we're just naming it. It's going to be Dom Sicali, something else, powered by Mafia Roundtable. What we are doing is you could go onto the website and you could do what you have to do. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out shortly. Should be out in the next day or two. BB says, show, I really appreciate all the stuff for you. Is there a way I can tell us if the Genovese crying family and Barney's still involved in the Jacob Javits Center and the Carpenter Jr.? I could look into that, but I'm sure they have their hands into something, but they're not running it the way they used to. That's for sure. They're not. It's not out there promoted as it once was. With all the junk in the joint, it's hard to stay lean. Haha. Alamo, you're correct. You're definitely correct, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I was brought up, when you start using, listen, everybody does their time differently. You know, they're doing their time. That's how they cope with it. Cool. But I was told, and I'll say who told me because he's not alive anymore. Oscar Ansorian would tell me, Dom, you see all these junkies? They're weak. They're weak. But then I always kept an open mind. I'm like, but Oscar, that's the way they want to do their time. Like, that's their escape. That's how they get out of it. I get out of it by going to Waypal, working out, playing cards, writing, reading. I'll get out of the environment. That's my escape, that I'm not in prison. Makes me think of other things. They use drugs. So everybody's different. Patience, thank you for the contribution. Dom, before any wires, before any indictments, where, when you were a captain, giving orders, did you generally believe that the life had rules and structure? Or deep down, did you already know it was survival dressed up as loyalty? Good question. I'm going to keep that up there for a while because I'm going to answer all parts of it. Before any indictments, I believed in the life. I believed, maybe not, in the life itself. I believed in the people that I was around. I believed in Vinnie. I believed in Bruno. I believed in Anthony Donato. I believed in Tony Green. I believed in people like that. Joe Camarano Sr., Jerry Asaro, Louis Electric. I believed in the group. I believed in Ernie. Then I started seeing, again, folks, Bruno went away on his violation 2 times, not once, twice. 2 times, Vinny and I were giving his Kathy $5,000 a month for bills. Aside, Vinny was paying his obligation. And then I would send Bruno $500 a month for his commissary. I get locked up, not a effing penny did he send me. Not a penny. Instead, he paid Joe Messino, who ratted. It came out, Joe Messino ratted. They picked up Joe Messino's wife, Josephine, her restaurant tab when they saw her at the restaurant. Wow. Wow. You pick up the boss who ratted, who put your boy in jail, his wife's bill, and you don't even send me $100 for Christmas. When my daughter was born, son, nothing. The only one who sent something was Robert Van Zandt, a $500 basket. That was it. That was it. So to answer your question, I was very disheartened with everything, with the people. Vinny himself. Vinny's over there, my boy. Vinny was adamant. We don't talk about this. We don't do this. No cell phones. We use 0 cell phones. The only time I would call Vinny, if we had our personal phones, hey, pal, what are you doing today? Are we going to the gym? What time am I picking you up? We're going by a job site. That was it. Regular, everyday talk. And we followed up. So if the feds are following us, I'm picking him up. He's picking me up. No, Bo, I'll pick you up today. We'll go to Omni. We're going to work out. What are we doing today? What do you want to do? Let's do chest and back. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to beat Anthony in chest. Okay, whatever. Play some racquetball. And that was it. That was it. So, but Vinnie was a stickler. With anything with Mafia was never said over a phone, pager system. We meet in person, and nothing ever got spoken about. So when I heard him on tapes talking about murders, especially me, you killed 12 people, but you're not talking about any of your murders. You're talking about mine. That's when, I put a bad taste in my mouth. And yes, nowadays there is no loyalty. The loyalty is to the almighty dollar. So, but thank you, Patience, for the contribution. Appreciate it. Good question, too. We have OMB, Kev. Hey, Sakali, you saw Joey PDS podcast? He mentioned you. No, I didn't see it, but I'm going to check it out probably after this show. I'm going to get my chicken soup and I'll put it on my phone. I'll check it out. Craig says, Dom, if Vinny gets out, you and him can open a car rental spot in TGE Keys. Imagine. I hope he writes you back if you write him. Craig, to be honest, Vinny's the type of guy, he probably will write back. He probably will write back. And because Vinny's mentality will be, wow, he's writing me. Let me soften him up because if I go to trial, I want him to help me. And that would be it. But I'm not going to lie. But I'd be honest, he does deserve to come out. Like I will advocate for him. I'll say, yes, we killed it. And I'll just tell them if Michael never followed through, that's it. Randy's still alive. So basically it's more or less Michael's fault. Vinny didn't get on me that I didn't kill Joe Bonelli. So he wouldn't have got on me. I didn't kill Randy. So, I'll be honest and that's it. But I won't be looking to bury him. That's for sure. Let's see. Patience of consequences. Dom, for a guy like Vinny who understood the life at that level, was Messino getting him to say your name a mistake or proof that even the smartest guys eventually let their guard down? Very well said. I'm going to keep this up. You know what? Vinny loved Joe. Vinny loved Joe. Joe is the boss, and Vinny would do anything for Joe. Vinny did tell me he felt it was a weird question. Vinny felt funny asking it. But then I told Vinny's on tape. If you heard the tape, Dominic's a loyal dog. He's speaking like this. When Joe said, who did it? Dominic. I know Dominic. I don't know who else. Here's who I think. I think this guy dogged it. This guy was involved. But Dominic took care of it. Dominic's a loyal dog. If Vinny felt any inkling, he knows, number one, he's in MDC Brooklyn on the top of the roof rec deck. There's cameras up there. There has to be listening devices. There's other inmates. There's officers. If anything, and he knows there was a separation on him and Joe, all of a sudden they're putting them together, even though it's separate cages. That wasn't a coincidence. So if Vinny had an inkling, he could have said, Bo, I don't know. Or whisper something. He's speaking in this tone. It's like, really, Vin? Okay. Vinny's excuse was, Bo, the boss asked me. It was unsanctioned. It was an unsanctioned hit. So you didn't have to answer him. Bo, I was trying to protect you. Protect me from what? Protect me from what? I'm on the street. Protect me from what? Okay. If you felt that way, why didn't you just say, I don't know, Joe? Or go. Why didn't you do that? So Monday morning quarterback, you're always right, but he should have never said anything. Should have never said anything. That's where he was wrong, and he knew it. He knew it. Giant Privilone could respond nice and try to reel you in if he gets out. Oh, definitely. He'll definitely try without it. Listen, Vinny's the type of guy who'll tell me, Bo, there's no problem. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then he'll go somewhere and definitely look to Vinny will definitely never let it go. Alamo Dom, was Jerry Asaro Vinny Asaro's son? Yes, he was. And at that time, I know Gene says he was around Vinny Asaro, but when I was out there, the whole time Vinny Asaro was shelved. Vinny Asaro was shelved. Now, if Michael took him off the shelf, I wasn't there for that, but he was shelved the whole time. Giant Privilone says Vinny broke loyalty first, bottom line. Absolutely. Should have kept his mouth shut. Even if it was a sanctioned hit, folks, if Joe Messino sanctioned it, he knew who killed. Why are you going to bring it up? Think about it. Why are you mentioning it? So, but Vinny should, the two murders, Santoro and Pizzolo, Vinny should have never said anything. They were not sanctioned. That in itself could have got us killed. Folks, for those of you new to the channel first time, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That's all we ask here. Clay says, Dom, were you in prison? Oh, when were you in prison? Did you have anybody try to test you? Yes, in Lewisburg, I had a black guy from Philly tried to shake me down. Again, Herbie Sperling sent them to me in innuendo way. Guy went to Herbie, hey, I'm going to shake down this Italian. Herbie says, I don't care who you shake down as long as they're not with me. And at that time, I just beat the shit out of Nicky DiCarlo, who was close with Herbie. So Herbie had a hair up his nose with me. And all this came out from the Boston crew, Joe Burke. Joe Burke, who was doing, I think, 30 years for bank robbery, came and told me, because he was close with the black guy. He says, Herbie gave him the okay. Got to Kevin Kelly, came to me. I'm like, wow. But yeah, so that was one of the beefs. Craig said, Dom, if he wanted to meet you, would you meet Vinny if he gets out? Maybe in a very public. Absolutely. I would meet him. But it would have to be probably in an airport through the security. I'd meet him. I'd sit down with him. Without a doubt. Maybe in Disney World we could meet. Giant Privilone says, Alamo, Vinny and Jerry had a falling out for a long time. Yeah. Jerry Asaro did not speak to his father. Butterfly kisses. Hello again, Giant Privilone. Now I see when I recognize your name. My apologies, LOL. Okay. Patience of consequence. Dom, as a captain, did you ever catch yourself in moments where you almost said too much? Or is that something you only recognize after seeing it happen to someone else? I wasn't one to talk, to say things. No, I really didn't say much. I kept to myself. I handled my business and that was it. I wasn't caught on any tapes, any wiretaps, not caught on any surveillance photos, recordings, just one surveillance picture. And then there's one with Bruno that PO has. I don't know which one that is. But yeah, no, I watch my P's and Q's all the time, especially in the life. Rita says, Dom and Vinny reunion episode. Oh my God, that would go over really good. I can imagine that one. John says, you ever been to Morris Park Boxing Club? No, I didn't even know there was a boxing club there. So no, I've never been. Giant Privilone, Clayton, you can plead the fifth to the question. Okay. John says, is John A-Light tough as nails? I heard he's tough. I'm sure he could fight. I heard he did a lot of work out there. And, I never underestimate anybody. I happen to like A-Light. We just spoke a few weeks ago, and I like him. I like him. So, but have I ever gotten to any fights? Him standing beside me, or no? No, I never did. War says, "Greeting, Dom. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. Just feel a little bit under the weather. I actually needed the rest today. Needed to just relax. So, Jet 623. Did you know? Just skip. Let me see. Did you know Anna Clarice's Deli, Morris Park? No, I did not. No, I did not. Mr. Puppet, Dom, did Mancuso have family in the life that protected him? No. No, his father got killed when he was younger. His father was actually with Alphonse Siska, who's Funzy, who's a captain in the Gambino crime family, and Alan Squitieri, who was the boss of the Gambino crime family. They were out in the after hours. The father got killed, and his father's killer walked the streets in Throg's Neck, and Michael would say hello to him. So to me, Michael's just a mutt. He's a dog, and that's it. Yo, Sicali, what do you think about Molino's interview? I didn't see it yet. I did not see it yet. I'll comment tomorrow on it. Susan, good to see you, Susan. Hey, Dom, would you ever consider doing a show with you and John A. Light? Absolutely. Anytime. Patience as a consequence. Dom. Excuse me, folks. Dom, if a guy can do anything right like that and still end up in the same place, how much control does anyone really have in that life? People, it depends on your crew, the guys around you. You can have a lot of power, a lot of control. You know, and that was it. That's like, you know what? If Vinnie came in, if I went in there and Vinnie said, Dom, if he came out right and said, Dom, you killed Randy? Oh, Dom, what happened out there? Like, Vinnie, really? Why would you think I killed? That's what I would say. Why would you think I killed him? Are you kidding me? You're going to ask me that question in this type of environment? Are you out of your effing mind? That's what I would tell him. That's what I would tell him. That's what Vinny's supposed to tell Joe. Joe, are you joking right now? You're asking me that question. You're not even whispering to Joe. You're the boss. This is your family. You're going to ask me that type of question in this type of environment? Come on. Come on, Bo. That's what he said. Bo, come on. Really? Emmanuel says, Dom, did you like or dislike Shellac-Head Cantarelli? I really didn't know him like that. What I saw of him, I did not like. I didn't like the way he conducted himself. Big money earner. Big money earner. I didn't know him well enough, but the things I did hear about him and the persona when I did meet him, the way he walked around with that swagger with his chest puffed out, thinking who he was, I don't like that. I don't like that. So I never conducted myself like that. And then things I heard with, the family, the way people would talk, it just turned me off. And then his son acted similar. And I heard his son, as soon as his son got locked up, he was crying. I'm out of this. I'll do my time and that's it. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're in the back of the car, you're crying. So I didn't care for them. They weren't my caliber. I just didn't like them. Maybe if I got to know him normally, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Have a lot of laughs with him. Big money earner, smart, but just not my cup of tea. Wall Street Social Club. Did you know why spiritual memory is blocked from the channel? No, but I just got a text message and I could tell you maybe. Let's see. If so, can you unblock him, please? It was an accident. So, yes, I will unblock him. I can't do it now, but after the show, I'll immediately unblock him. So, sorry about that. It happens. If something like that happens, people let us know, and I'll ask one of the moderators what happened. Sometimes it happens by accident. Peter Miller. I knew Eli back in the day, never saw him fight, but he had a fearsome reputation. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. Patience of consequences. So, Dom, did you ever look around at your own crew and realize some of the guys were solid and some were potential problems before anything ever happened? Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, Gino was a problem. Didn't care for him. I loved Perry. Perry was big earner, great guy, loved him. PJ, Nicholas Piscotti, loved him. Ace, loved him. Anthony Donato, loved him. Bruno, loved him. Joe Sabello, I liked him. Thought he was a good guy. Bad choice of judgment. Who else did I have? Joe Torre. I like Joe Torre. I liked all the guys. Louis Cigars. Liked him a lot. Liked him a lot. So I had a heavy crew. I had a lot of people in my crew. I had, I think, Frankie, Lino, Joe. I had a lot of guys. A lot of guys in the crew. People, we're going to start wrapping it up. We're at that hour, and I need my chicken soup. So hope everybody has a wonderful evening. We will see tomorrow Retro Bronx with Tina Marie on here. Remember that square biz? Yeah. We're going to have Tina on. We're going to go into more stuff about the Bronx. Old things. We're going to talk about Savvy Shoe Store. We're going to talk about Dollarama, right, Tina? Definitely. And if somebody else wants to come on in the Bronx, hit me up in the email, and we'll bring you on too tomorrow. We'll have, you know what? Whoever wants to come on, just hit me up, and we'll add you to the show tomorrow. We'll have some fun with it. It'll be just a free-for-all. People, much love and respect. Everybody have a great evening. This hour went quick. Anthony, good night. What's that? KAST Stan 6263. Good night, Mr. Puppet. Good night, R. Cole, Susan, Step, Giant Privalone. Have a good night. And I'm going to check out that Molino video in a minute. R. Cole, good night. Butterfly Kisses, Tina, Clay, War, Sonny Grasso, much love and respect. Good night. Giant Privalone again. OMB 2133. Good night, Francisco. Good night, Susan. Who else? Patience of Consequences. Thank you for the contribution, and have a good night. Step. Good night, Peter Miller. Good to see you. Good night. Butterfly Kisses. As we're scrolling through. Sam the Man. Good night. Tina. Good night. Rock. Good night. People, much love and respect. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see everybody tomorrow night, live at 5, Retro Bronx. Whoever wants to come in, email me. Email's in the description below. Have a wonderful night. Much love and respect. Peace out.